Hey Youtubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. Channel likes to try anything, so you don't have to. What we're going to take a look at today is we're going to take a look at a Casio watch here, which is the Casio Wave Ceptor WVQ-200HU. Now with this watch, what we're going to take a look at is we're going to talk about the actual design of the watch. We're going to go through just some of the bits and pieces of the watch and talk about some of its features, which aren't many, I'll be honest with you, but it does have one main feature. So just to kick things off, let's talk about the design of it. Now, with this being a Casio, this one's slightly different to the usual affair, which I've kind of got here, which is, you know, your Casio fishing gear one here, your Telemamo here, which are, you know, slightly smaller dials and stuff like that. And obviously the more kind of elegant one, which I have featured on the channel. This one is more of a kind of what I would say is a diver's watch. Now, a diver's watch in the term of all the numbers are large, easy to read. The hands are quite big, which is how I like it on some of these type of analog watches. And that in my eyes is more of a kind of what I would say is a diver's watch. And if I'm wrong, then please correct me underneath. Now, the actual case, it does look like a metal affair. And it's or either that or it is plastic. I don't know, it's hard to say. It is metal. I mean, I have tried looking up information about this actual case and stuff like that, and it is, being an older discontinued watch, it is quite hard to find any information on that. But to me, it looks like it's kind of got like that kind of brushed aluminium to it, or that brushed kind of steel effect to it, with a bezel which has kind of got a metal effect or metal to it. I mean, it's not really heavy, so I don't know, it's just kind of a determination whether it's kind of metal effect or actual metal. So I'll err on the side of, you know, being a kind of metal effect or to that kind of instance really. Now, as you can see, the bezel doesn't move on this, so it is a fixed bezel. And yes, the numbers have kind of the actual black paint which is within the kind of embossing of the numbers has kind of gone really. Now, this was a purchase via eBay, and the reason why I buy stuff off eBay, which is slightly, you know, it's not brand new and stuff all the time, it's just so you can see how these watches wear really over time, and it gives you an idea of how they will look if you wore them daily and stuff like that. So it's kind of accelerated sort of kind of like timing for these watches, just to give you an idea of how they look and how they wear. Now, interestingly, the dial window on this, I believe it is kind of it doesn't feel glass, it does feel like a resin, and as you can see, it does scratch as easily as, say, this one would or any of the others. But I use Polywatch on this. I've used Polywatch on this, and the actual Polywatch, and I will feature, I'll pop a link below if I remember to do it. It has helped in getting rid of these kind of scratches. I mean, there was a few scratches along here, and I will do a review of Polywatch, because Polywatch is, you know, by all means, it's a great product for getting rid of any kind of micro abrasions on the dial windows, which may kind of do your head in really, or you may not like that sort of thing. But, you know, some people do find that, you know, these kind of scratches and stuff like that add to the character of the watch and show that it's been worn. So, you know, each to their own really. Now, talking of the actual case, as I say, I believe it's like a metal effect. It's not really heavy. I mean, you know, it's not a heavy watch by any stretch of the imagination. But it does measure, I've measured it with a measuring tape this time. And it measures approximately 42 millimeters across from there to there, which is just slightly outside of where the two pushers are situated here, because obviously there's no two pushers on the left hand side. The back is unusual for Casio. It is plastic this time, and I have opened this watch because I have replaced the battery in this, and there is kind of like a little band which follows the kind of this sort of shape really, if I remember correctly, or it's circular, but there is a band on the inside which is to help with the water resistance, which in this instance is 50 meters, or I believe 5 bar. So yes, it's got a plastic back, and this one here also has calf grain here, which is kind of, I'm guessing, is a kind of a leather, and this leather or leather effect band measures, I've measured it, is 20 mil wide here at the lugs. So you could probably feature a few other bands if you wanted something a bit more kind of jazzy, or maybe a brown or something like that. You could, as I say, feature like different bands on here, and I would imagine they'd be quite easy. I mean, it is quite tight on here, but like some of the other watches, I'm sure you could probably get in there and probably just pop a new band on there. So, you know, it's quite an adaptable watch, I'm guessing. Now, with this watch, as you can see, it does have an analog kind of display to give you the idea of time, which has like obviously your normal 12-hour period there, and it also features the 24-hour clock here. So if you're not sure, you know, obviously if you are working in a 24-hour clock format, or military time as they call it in the USA, then, you know, it's very easy to kind of just suddenly glean the time from these kind of numerals that are on here. And also it's a nice big display, and that's what I absolutely love about this watch. It is a really nice classy watch. There's no tons of complications. The only complication I can see on this watch is the LCD small digital window which they have here. Now, the lume, it does kind of glow here and here, which I'll feature in a little inset video, or like in a little clip here. And as you can see, it's fairly bright. I mean, I haven't really used it extensively to find out how long it lasts, but you know, it's good enough so if you go to bed and stuff like that, you just want to see the time in the dark or anything like that, I would imagine it's quite good for that. Now, also, it has, if I haven't spoke about this, it is based on a Japanese quartz movements, and I believe battery life, I would say, yeah, Japanese quartz movements. I'm just trying to see what it would state as a 5-bar. I would say it's probably 2 to 3 years on this. There's no real kind of advertisement of 10 years battery life that they do normally feature on Casios. But, you know, it was very easy to swap the actual battery out on this, and they use a CR1620, which is not the most common battery out there, and I did have to look on eBay for it. But once you got the battery, there's like a little clip you have to push down to open up the actual battery container, pull the battery out using tweezers, pop it back in and pop the clip in, and then just do the little 2 AC just to reset the watch, and it all starts working from there really. So the main feature of this watch, and as you can probably read there, it is a Wave Ceptor. Now with the Wave Ceptor, it obviously goes off to the atomic clock, which I believe is down in this southern part of the UK, and is also, they do have atomic clocks within the Europe and America and stuff like that. And what it does, it goes off and just kind of looks, using the, you know, using radio waves and stuff like that, it does go off every number of times a day to receive like information from these kind of atomic clocks and synchronize with them the time really. So in theory, this watch is as kind of, as long as it works okay, is as accurate as you can get it. Now I've set it up last weekend, and I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the easiest watch to set up. Now I'm not going to go through all of this, and what I have done, because it is quite it's a bit of a mess about, but once you get there, you just kind of leave it then. But I have popped instructions below how on the Casio website, based on the module number, which is 4305 in this instance, and you've got to reread it a few times just to get the idea of how you do it. But it is a combination of pressing 2 of these buttons for for so long, getting the second window to up to the top, and then what you then do is then tell it to go off by, I think it's a long press of this one, or it's a long press of that one, I'm not too sure, but then it'll go off and look for the time, and then if you've set it to the home setting, which is in my case is the London and the UK, it will go off and find it. But it was a bit of a faff where I had to get that second hand to 12 and then ask the watch to go off and look for the time, because otherwise it was giving me all manners of times which were incorrect, and that was only because that second hand was off. So as I said, there's instructions below, and they are Casio instructions, the link. It will take it off nowhere else other than to the Casio website, and you just need to reread it a few times and then you'll get it. And once you get it, you just need to forget about it then. I mean, it should work. It'll go off a couple of times a day just to check the time, and then that's it. So the only other feature it does have is, as I say, in the LCD window, other than adjusting the time and stuff like that, which you can do manually as well. You'd be interested, you will see, the adjustment of the time, the date and the year, which you can change in this manually. But obviously when you do ask it to go off automatically, it will do that for you, and you don't need to touch that part. But also I believe it does feature daylight saving time as well, which you can turn on, turn off and automatically. But again, I'm just trying to remember back what I did last Saturday. But the other thing you can do is press the button here just very quickly, not long press, but just press the button, and it will come up with the day, or you can come up with the dates within the month really, and that's the only real information you can glean off this. I mean, that there, pressing that button there kind of tells me that it's gone off and check the time. And as I say, if you long press that, I think it will ask the watch to go off and look for the time, in which it will, you know, obviously, as long as you get it near a window and don't move it and stuff like that, it should get. I mean, as I said, I had no problems once I set up the actual second hand getting it going, but after that, you know, it was fine really. So other than that, I mean, that's really the watch in a nutshell. It is a really good looking watch, and yes, I mean, obviously I could probably I'm going to end up painting these, or maybe using a very thin permanent marker as such, like a fine liner in there to, you know, just kind of finish them off, just to finish off the whole look of the watch. But to me, I just absolutely love the look of this thing, and I think, you know, as a kind of a classic Casio watch, I think it's one that, you know, if you can get it off eBay, because I can't see it on Amazon unfortunately, but if you can get it off eBay, it's well worth purchasing. I mean, this does come in a white, there is a version, sorry, not the camera, there is a version where the actual dial is white as well, so you can get that version where, you know, it's kind of like a flip reverse really. And that's it really. And what I'll do, I'll pop it on my wrist and just talk about what it's like to wear. So there you go, it's on the wrist, and it is, I can't stress enough how much I do like the look of this watch. And it is a lovely watch to look at, and it's a very easy watch to tell the time from as well. And the actual, you know, yeah, I mean, okay, yes, as usual, I've got the minute hand obscuring the LCD, which I did on one of my other videos. But, you know, it's that classic look, and I just love that about this watch. A real good looking daily driver watch, then I would not hesitate in getting this again. And if I could get it brand new, I would do, because I just love the look at it. And just in comparison to, say, some of the other ones I've just quickly shown you on the start of this video, again, you know, compared to, it's got more of a utility look about it, is what I would say. And I don't know, I mean, I love the way this looks, but I just there's something about this watch that I really do like. And again, you know, it's your own preference really. And again, I'll show you against the fishing gear watch, which is another super comfortable watch to wear. And, you know, it's got a lot of nice little features, fishing time and moon phase and stuff. And, you know, I'll pop the links below if I forget to put them at the top about where this watch, you can, you know, see the review of this watch and the other watches like this one here, the Telememo one that I've featured on the channel. But again, you know, if you could get this brand new, or if you could get it on eBay even, pre-loved or used as it were, then I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, it's, again, it's such a great watch, and it is, you know, it is comfortable to wear. The leather, it just adds to it, and I would imagine if you can, you know, you're a bit handy changing the straps over, then, you know, it's a great watch. And also this strap does feature a metal buckle, so, you know, it just adds to the look of the watch in total. So as I say, just to finish off the review, I would get it, heartily recommend this watch. Fantastic, nice, fairly big dial. You know, it doesn't bang into my hand or anything, so it's very comfortable to wear, and well worth considering if you're into collecting Casios. So I hope you liked the review, and if you did, then give it a thumbs up. It always helps the channel. If you want to subscribe to that and receive more updates of when these sort of things, I do upload these things, then please click on the subscription button below. And if you're there, maybe click on the bell if you want to be notified of anything else coming up soon. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next video. Goodbye.